Hello, I'm John Malos, and welcome to Connect with Me here on MeTV Fresno. You're watching us live on Comcast 187 and 43.6. Today, if you didn't know it, is Tax Day. That's right, April 17th. Yesterday was a holiday. We're going to talk to, he's here in our studio, a tax attorney to advise you. We're back in a moment with Connect with Me. And welcome back to Connect with Me here on MeTV Fresno, Comcast 187 and 43.6 if you have an antenna. I'm John Malos, your host of Connect with Me on this Tuesday, April the 17th. Believe it or not, it is Tax Day. Usually, Tax Day falls on April the 15th. Well, it so happens that this year, April 15th, fell on a Sunday. But then yesterday, April 16th, was a holiday. It was a federal holiday, Emancipation Day. Oh my goodness. So you had an extra 2 days to get your taxes done. In fact, you better file by tonight. You have until midnight tonight to file or file an extension or pay your taxes if in fact you owe taxes to the federal or state governments. Now, we have a tax attorney in the House today to advise you. So we advise you or encourage you to connect with me, connect with us here at Connect with Me, and call in at 559-265-4331. You can also Facebook us and Twitter us, or you can dial 1-800-717-1302. Again, the phone number local is 265-4331. 717-1302 is the number. Call in. Our guest is Jared Callister. He is a tax attorney. He went to George Mason University. He went to Georgetown. He has a master's in tax law. And he tells me there are some 75,000 pages of tax law on the books here in this country. Who can figure this thing out? Isn't it better to just toss the whole thing out or just leave it as is? Well, you decide, and maybe Jared can advise us on that. In the meantime, we encourage you to call because today is tax day. You only have until midnight. 265-4331 with your questions, or 1-800-717-1302. I'm John Malos, your host. We're going to be back with our tax attorney, our specialist, Jared Callister, in just a moment. Stay tuned to Connect with Me.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Welcome back to Connect with Me here on Comcast, live here from the showroom floor at Ventura TV. I'm John Malos, your host, and with me today is Jared Callister, a tax attorney here in Fresno. Jared, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
It's great to be here, John.
Okay, we got, what, less than 12, well, we got about 12, 14 hours, something like that, to get the taxes done midnight tonight, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and 2 extra days, so there really is no excuse. Is that correct?
there is no excuse. It's one of those quirks in the law where it's Emancipation Day happened to fall on Monday yesterday, and normally you do pay taxes on the 15th, but that was Sunday, and so it bumps us out today, Tuesday, April 17th. And so no one ever hears of Emancipation Day until you have this weird quirk in the law where you're filing your taxes a day later or 2 days later.
Okay, so was I correct in saying you have till midnight tonight to file or file an extension or pay your taxes?
Yeah,
is that correct?
We'll talk about it. That's the big distinction here. First is under the law, you've got to file your taxes or file an extension, okay, the return itself by April 17th, okay?
Okay.
If you
that's
don't,
midnight tonight.
That's midnight tonight. If you don't file the return or the extension, and you owe taxes, there's going to be a penalty, a failure to file penalty, which is 5% per month.
Of what you owe?
Of what you owe, correct. In addition, okay, if you know that you owe taxes, but you can't afford to pay it, you still need to file the return or file the extension because if you don't file the return, you're going to get hit with that 5% per month penalty. If you don't pay, you want to try your best to pay when you can, because there is an additional penalty for failure to pay, which is 0.5% per month. So if you're sitting there right now today, you know you're going to owe taxes, and if you haven't filed anything yet, you want to file an extension today and pay when you can. Sometimes people say, well, should I pay with a credit card? Well, what interest is your credit card charging you? Probably 16% interest. What interest is the federal government charging you?
5.
Well, less
per
than
month.
That. It's 5% for the filing, but it's on the penalty for the actual failure to pay. It's 0.5% per month, so it's a much lower rate.
I see.
Exactly. You actually get hit harder for actually failing to file the paperwork itself than not filing the actual dollars, paying the dollars you're supposed to pay.
So let me get this straight now. You get but you get penalized for both, do you not?
Correct. So if you don't, let's assume you don't pay taxes today.
You get penalized for that.
You get penalized for that, and let's assume you don't file any return today.
You get penalized for that.
Correct. And the failure to file the return itself is a 5% per month penalty.
So you don't necessarily have to pay today. You have to file today. Is it filing more important than paying today?
No. Well, you want to. Well,
I mean, what's more important today, filing or paying?
Well, if you can pay, you want to pay.
Okay.
Okay. But not everybody has cash in the bank account to pay, and so they think, well, maybe I just won't file. Bad idea. You want to file. Even if you send in the tax return that shows you owe $1,000 in taxes and you don't send a check, get the return in, because you don't want to get hit with that 5% per month penalty. You can always try to work out a payment arrangement later with the IRS, but you definitely want to file something today, the actual 1040 form or the extension. That's an automatic 6-month extension to file. You can do that electronically. It's the form 4868. Anybody can get an extension. So you definitely want to file either return or that extension today.
All right, I got to ask you this question because it's stuck in my mind. I'm up late at night, I'm watching TV, and some guy comes on and says, "Are you having tax problems? Call this number at the bottom of your screen. We can help bail you out, and you won't have to pay anything." Is he lying to us?
Again, everyone's factual circumstance is different. But if
should we believe that though, or is that just kind of a fallacy? Is that a hook to get you in?
Well, there's probably over promises and under delivery.
In most cases.
In a lot of cases. Again, each fact you can't make a guarantee on how much your tax burden can be reduced. There's generally you have two options. If you owe a significant amount of taxes, and you just can't afford to pay it, okay, you have two options. You have three options. You ignore the IRS, and then eventually they'll start executing liens and levies on your wages and your bank accounts and your assets. Okay, so that's not a viable option. The other two options are you can enter in what's called an installment agreement, which is kind of a payment plan. You've got to tell them what your income is, what your assets are, what your expenses are, and they will evaluate your personal circumstance and to determine how long of a payment arrangement they can make with you and how much you're going to pay each month.
But they're not going to forgive what you owe.
They can. That's another scenario.
Really? How common is that?
What the procedure is called, you file an offer in compromise. It basically says, I concede that let's assume you owe $50,000. And you concede that you owe that because you made a mistake, let's say. And you file this offer in compromise with the IRS and you say, I recognize that I owe $50,000. I just have no assets to pay this. I have no money in my bank account. I have no equity in my home, and I don't have a job. I have no income. And so over the course of the next 42 months, I just won't have the ability to pay this. So I will pay you $5,000, and we'll call it even. And so the IRS, that's called an offer in compromise. The IRS accepts about 20% of those offers and compromises.
Well, let me ask you this. What if you owe $50,000 and you have, say, $10,000 in the bank? Will the IRS come along and say, I'm going to grab all that money that you got in the bank and leave you penniless and then make you pay the rest? Or will they let you make the small payment plans even if you've got $5-10 in the bank and you owe 50 or 100?
Yeah, what they do is they run a mathematical test, a formula on your income, your expenses, and the assets that you have.
Okay.
They're not going to make you liquidate everything. If you have a business and you need $10,000 in a business banking out to operate, they're not going to make you liquidate that. If someone wants to pay an installment agreement, the likelihood of the IRS accepting that is very high because the IRS is earning interest on that. Now, our recommendation is that if you can borrow from a friend or a family member or a bank and pay the IRS, it's better to do it that way because the IRS is a very unforgiving creditor. If you miss a bank payment, they'll work things out with you. If you miss one IRS installment payment, they throw the agreement out the window, and then they proceed as normal. And then you've got to try to renegotiate a whole new installment agreement.
All right. A lot more to talk about with Jared Callister. He's a tax attorney from Fresno. Tonight is the night. April 17th, tax deadline, midnight tonight. Please call in if you've got a question for Jared on tax day, 265-4331, or the 1-800 number 717-1302. You're watching Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno, right here on Comcast. See you in a bit.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
And today is our focus on business here on Connect with Me. I'm John Malos, your host. 265-4331, 265-4331 if you have calls for Jared Callister, our tax attorney here. And today is the deadline, midnight tonight, to file your taxes. And speaking of business, Jared, if you do own a business, do you get any more or less tax breaks than, say, the normal average person that's going to work 9 to 5 for the government or something?
Oh, absolutely. If you are self-employed, being self-employed opens up a whole new realm of possibilities for you. For instance, you always hear the phrase, don't mix business with pleasure.
Yes.
Well, if you're self-employed and you're in a service industry and you take a friend to lunch and you buy him lunch, and after the lunch he agrees to buy your product or buy your service, is that a business lunch? Is that a deductible business lunch? Or you make care packages for your clients and you're driving your kids to school and you drop off a care package to one of your clients on the way to school, that mileage is deductible. I mean, there's a whole bunch of deductions that you can take that you normally otherwise wouldn't be able to take because it's part of your business. You take someone to a Fresno State football game.
That's a business write-off.
That's a business write-off. And so there's a lot of possibilities here if you're self-employed that people aren't aware of, that they don't take advantage if you're normal 9 to 5 employee.
What you're saying is whatever money you spend on your business is a tax write-off, whether it's a lunch, whether it's football tickets, whether it's buying an appliance here at Ventura TV, if you own Ventura TV, that is a tax write-off, is it not?
Well, the rule is every ordinary and necessary business expense is deductible, okay? Now, when it comes...
What do you mean ordinary and necessary? Let's define those two terms.
Okay. Well, if you're in a lawn care business, okay, is it ordinary for you to buy jet skis as part of your business?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Well, what if you buy them because there's a lake show, and you're going to have them painted as a marketing tool, and you drive them around the lake and it has your lawn care business? Well, maybe it's partly deductible.
Isn't that a red flag?
Oh, it definitely is a red flag if you go that aggressive. So what's ordinary? Now, buying jet skis is probably not ordinary. What's necessary? Well, marketing is necessary. So if you buy time in a newspaper advertising your business, marketing is ordinary and necessary for any business. So then it gets to client expenses. Well, when you get into meals and entertainment expenses, there's actually pages upon pages of regulations, because this always gets taken advantage of, defining what is deductible. When you invite your spouse and your client's spouse, do they get deducted as well? So there's all these other questions, but there's a whole realm of possibilities that get open to you when you're self-employed. Top of that, if you hire one other person, so there's 2 people employed, now you can set up a health reimbursement account or other type of health plans that have a lot of tax advantages. You can set up a small retirement plan that has a lot of tax advantages that a normal 9-to-5 employee is, not necessarily taking advantage of.
And I was going to ask you, what does it take to get audited? No one wants to get audited.
No.
But you just spoke of a couple of red flags. Don't do anything out of the ordinary.
Exactly. The IRS doesn't look at, most of it is computerized systems. So if you say your business is a lawn care business and your income looks very, very low and your expenses are very, very high, that's going to raise a red flag. If it's out of the norm, it's bad. People like to take home office deductions. That's fine. You can do that. There's prescribed ways.
You mean at their home?
Exactly. You own a home and you start a side business of internet consulting or marketing, internet marketing. And so your corner of your family living room has a computer set up, and you use that computer and that area just for your marketing business.
Is that a red flag?
Well, no, but if you try to deduct all of your utilities on your house because you have this one little office space, you're not going to do it. You have to allocate it square footage. How much of that room is business? And then you say, okay, 2% of the entire house is devoted to business, so 2% of your gas and utilities and whatnot is deductible. So a lot of times people just don't have the records keeping in order, that when they take the deduction, they're taking too much or too little. But a home office deduction can be a red flag. Doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. It can be a red flag.
Yeah, I think what you're basically saying is, not to be redundant, but just don't do anything out of the ordinary that's going to cause a reason for concern on the other side, the IRS.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be accurate. If your income is low and your expenses are high, then that's what they are.
Right. And if you get audited and you have the paperwork and you can prove what you're saying is true and accurate, the IRS, will they back off?
They do. The first step is when you get audited. In fact, about 1%, 1% of all individual income tax returns get audited. Okay, so it's a very small number.
Right.
Of that 1%, most of the audits are called correspondence audits, meaning they just send you a letter saying, hey, can you send us more information? There's not an actual agent showing up at your doorstep or at your business. It's just they want substantiation. The more you make, then the greater level of scrutiny you fall under.
Let's talk quickly now. We've only got about a minute left. If you foreclose on your house and you owe about $150,000 or $200,000 on your home, and you walk away from it, and you do not pay that, is that considered income by the IRS? You receive that income for free, that $200,000?
That's a great question, especially in this market where foreclosures are happening. People are getting the loan modifications programs. So the old rule was anytime you have a debt forgiven, that amount that's been forgiven is ordinary income to you.
So
that was the old
whatever
rule.
Debt was forgiven, say $150,000, the IRS considers that income?
Correct. That was the old rule.
That's almost like a double whammy, is it not? Okay, so what's the new rule
now? The
new
rule is if there's a modification program, where they reduce the balance of what you owe, then that is essentially not considered ordinary income to you. So if you have a loan modification or you've been foreclosed, you don't have to worry about getting hit with some unforeseen income.
Right. Okay, can you stick around?
Yeah.
All right. Jared Callister is our guest here. He's a tax attorney here in Fresno. On Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, I'm John Malos. We're going to be back after a short time out. Hope you can call in. We're going to continue 265-4331. Back in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the low-price leading brand's reliable advice place. The Frigidaire Gallery Dream Kitchen Get Yours Today place. You with me? Right now, get huge savings on select Frigidaire Gallery appliances and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months at the hometown low price think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
I'm Lou Grant. Mary asked me to do a promo for MeTV.
You want to see me, Lou?
Not now, Ted. Watch me on...
Danish donut?
I said not now, Ted. Watch me on MeTV.
You don't like me? I'll fire you.
Watch Mary Tyler Moore. I'll fire you.
MeTV Fresno, now on Comcast Channel 187.
Yow.
Want to create something extraordinary? connection. Our lifestyle appliances make it easy. Frigidaire, Ventura TV appliance and you, when only the best will do.
Welcome back to Connect with Me here on Me TV Fresno. I'm John Malos on the showroom floor here with Dennis Patton, a salesperson at Ventura TV, ready to talk about this beautiful flat screen television. Dennis?
Yeah, this is actually the Samsung 55-inch LCD TV with the All Share program.
All right. What does that mean?
Well, All Share means to you is that if you have another Samsung product like a DVD, a camcorder, MP3 player, it's just a one connection hookup, and it reads it all up, and it's all set.
Oh, that doesn't mean I have to share it with my neighbor or across the street.
No sharing whatsoever.
Right. What about the hookups here?
Now, the hookups, it does have the standard hookups for the old VCRs. It has the hookups for the
DVD
players, and it also has the new HDMI hookups that are great for your Blu-ray players, and also if you're on Comcast or DirecTV, it has a one single wire to hook up, which actually looks just like this. Sorry about that. It just looks like this. It's a one-wire hookup.
Okay. What about the swivel?
Now, this one is great because since it's a big TV, if you're in a big room and you want to move it, this will actually swivel up to 35 degrees. So that gives you easy access to watch your TV.
All right. On a lot of these flat screens, you can look straight on or to the side. This, no problem here. You can watch this from anywhere in the room.
Oh, definitely. With the LCDs, you can look at all up to 140-degree angle, which means that, you know, your typical chairs on the side next to the TV, you'll be able to watch the picture clear.
Okay, Dennis, the big question everybody wants to know out there in TV land, what's this going to cost?
Well, it normally is $18.99. We have it on sale for $14.99. But from now to noon tomorrow for our Connect With Me viewers, we're actually throwing a 3-year protection plan.
So out the door, it's how much?
It is $14.99.
$14.99. With a 3-year plan. And how does that compare to the other box stores around Fresno and the Central Valley?
Well, we're basically exclusive on this unit, and with the 3-year protection plan, it covers parts, labor, and all trip charges. No money out of pocket.
Right. And the other box stores are selling it for what?
We have it exclusive.
Oh, so you can't get this television anywhere else. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, that's what we're telling.
So how does Ventura do that, day in and day out?
Well, we actually belong to a $12 billion buying group, which actually means to you we buy low, and we can pass the savings on to you.
Doggone, I didn't know that. All right, Dennis, good job. That's a beautiful looking set right there. The color is just absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, and I hope you guys all come in and buy one from us. You'll love the color. You'll love the Samsung ability.
All right, thank you much. That's till noon tomorrow for you Connect With Me viewers right here on Me TV. We're located just about 10 minutes from River Park and 10 minutes from Clovis, right off the 41. Back with more on Connect With Me in just a moment.
MeTV's real detectives don't need to go high-tech.
There might have been some sort of special tool required, you know what I mean?
They don't need smartphones.
We're in business. They're coming your way.
They don't need email.
I don't need a program to figure out why.
They don't need the internet.
You didn't really just pick my name out of the phone book. It's in the yellow pages.
They solve crimes the old-fashioned way. Kojak, The Rockford Files. Weekdays on MeTV. Brought to you by Ventura TV.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified, ready steam equipped, high efficiency Frigidaire affinity place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Frigidaire laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back with more here on Connect With Me. I'm John Malos. Glad to have you along on this Tuesday morning. It is tax day, midnight tonight. It's coming fast because it's about 12, well, just a little more than 11 hours from now. You've got to file for an extension or pay or do whatever you have to do. You got till midnight. Jared Callister joins us again, the tax attorney from Fresno. And I want to ask you about Ron Paul. He's the politician running for president, or he was. He's not running anymore. He's out of the race. But he just wanted to throw the entire tax code out the window. start all over again. Your thoughts on that? I'm not asking you to pick sides and be political, but what do you think of that idea?
Well, nobody disagrees that the tax code is too complex. You've got a code, you've got the regulations. That's 75,000 pages there. You've got revenue rulings, revenue procedures. You've got all sorts of interpretive rules trying to figure out how much taxes you're supposed to pay.
So 75,000 pages. Is there any one person that knows what's in that tax code?
No, it's impossible.
I mean, who wrote it?
Yeah.
I want to know who wrote that.
Yeah. Congress did. Congress did. Yeah.
But one person could not have written that.
No, and you'll find there'll be one tax attorney at a large firm who specializes in one code section on some obscure foreign tax credit. Mm-hmm. And it's so when he says throw it out, he means let's simplify it. That's what I think he means.
Right.
The problem with simplification is that each of these deductions that we have in the code is because of a special interest group that wanted that deduction in there.
I see.
Okay, so let's assume you start with a one-page tax code that says it's a flat tax.
Right.
Okay. Well, you're going to have homeowners saying, well, what about mortgage interest deduction? We own homes, we want that deduction. You're going to have oil industry saying, we want these certain credits and exemptions and deductions. And it's going to build. And once you let one person in the door with a special deduction or exemption or credit, then you open the floodgates for all the other special interest groups that come in.
Let's quickly mention what firm you're from.
Yeah, I'm with the law firm of Fishman, Larsen, Goldring, and Zeitler. We've been here 10 years in the Valley, and we specialize representing businesses, employers. We have specialists in employment, in healthcare law, in business transaction. We do wills and trusts, estate planning work as well, tax planning for individuals and businesses, so a whole gamut.
And you've been a tax attorney for about 5 years?
5 years, correct.
All right. Went to George Mason in Georgetown. What's the phone number in case people want to get in contact with you?
Sure. It's 559-256-5000.
Okay. Quickly, the Bush tax cuts have been extended through the end of this year. What's going to happen next year?
Okay. Well, the coined phrase I'm hearing is Taxmageddon is going to end. is upon us. We have a litany of certain deductions and credits that are going to expire at the end of 2012 if Congress does nothing. They just expire. So let's talk about the biggies. Capital gains. Capital gains right now is taxed at a low rate, 15%. Well, at the end of 2012, it's going to kick back up to 20%. Dividends. If you're a senior citizen, you're getting a dividend check, that's taxed right now at 15%. At the end, when the tax cuts expire, it's going to bump back up to a higher ordinary rate. Everyone's brackets across the board are going to jump up about 3% as well. Child tax credits, $1,000 now, it's going to be $500. So there's a long list of things that are
There's a laundry list of things that'll change, and you'll have to get an expert to explain them to you, I'm sure.
Well, and you're going to end up paying higher taxes.
And that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
And people are not going to be happy about that.
Yeah. Payroll, forgot the payroll. Payroll has been bumped down from the Social Security portion of payroll has been bumped down from 6% down to 4%. It's going to bump back up to 6%. So there's a whole gamut of things. I mean, estate and gift taxes.
I hate to ask you to do this so quickly, but what are some of the scams that people should be aware of?
Okay.
Because we've only got about a minute now.
No problem. So if you get an email from the IRS or some social media thing, it's not from the IRS. The IRS only sends letters or sends mail. They do not email you anything. So
through the U.S. Postal Service.
The U.S. Postal Service, correct. So there's a phishing scam out there where they send out, this is an email from the IRS, send us, this information. That's a big one. There's other times where you have tax return preparers that are not honest and that are taking deductions and credits that you're not entitled to get a higher refund for you, and that increases their commission. So every tax preparer...
And you're responsible, not the tax guy.
Exactly. When you sign that tax return, it's under penalty of perjury. You're responsible for that.
All right. Jared Callister, I hope you come back.
Hey, love to.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Jared
John.
Callister, our special guest today. He's a tax attorney. You got till midnight tonight to get your taxes done. By the way, the Honeymooners back on MeTV, 10:30 p.m. right here on MeTV Fresno. Back tomorrow for more of Connect with Me. I'm John Malos. Have a great day.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Do you like me?
Just like me.
Like Me TV Fresno on Facebook. Get the latest news, interact with others, watch videos, become a fan of me. Exclusively brought to you by Ventura TV.